Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
It's you and the senorita. Whooper blowing up the tweeter, cause it's me up in the speaker. Knocking the mama seat top down like a player and the sound up in your.
So you know what the thing is about life? Don't you sometimes just find life to be absolutely overwhelming, overpowering? And life is overpowering in that it keeps happening. It just keeps happening. There's nothing you can do about it sometimes. You can plan, you can work hard, you can save for a rainy day. You can have goals and aspirations and chase after them. You can do all these things, which you should be doing to wrestle life into submission. But sometimes, life is just going to steamroll right over you, and there is nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that you can do about it. So who are we? What defines us? Look, it's a tried and true, tested, overused homily. But it's how we react to the tough things, the curveballs that life throws us, that define us as a person. Life's going to happen whether you want it to or not. Life's going to keep moving. Life's going to keep going. The world will keep turning whether we're ready for it to or not. It's going to put us in some uncomfortable positions. It's going to put us in some tragic positions. We're going to suffer through pain and heartbreak and loss and anger and loneliness and isolation. And you know what? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are here. You survived. Way to go. So bearing in mind that life is just going to happen no matter what you do, no matter who you are. Bearing in mind that life does not discriminate when it comes to heaping misfortune, surprises, shock, anguish on us. Don't you think that the thing to do in the face of the fact that life is this unstoppable force that you just can't get around and you cannot control? You can have influence. You can have some amount of power over the direction that your life takes. You are the person that wakes up in the morning and decides how your day is going to go. But given the fact that there's also this unpredictable X factor that could take you out of the game with no warning or with not enough warning. I mean, sometimes that's all you get. Look out for that bus. What bus? Splat. That could be it. That could be you. That could be any of us. That could be the people that you love. So bearing that in mind, that you can't stop life, and that yours is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. Do you not think it's time that you make the most of whatever it is that you've been given, that you play the hell out of the hand that you've been dealt? That you start, not today, now, to try and milk every last ounce of awesome out of your day, every single day. It's tough. Life grinds you down. Life wears you down. Life makes you lose perspective on who you are, what's important, what you're doing, what the end game is. Sometimes we're just surviving, and sometimes it's all you can do. That's all you can do is survive. But give some thought to some of the things that you wish you would have done, and go out and do them. Give some thought to the things that you'd always meant to do, that mean a lot to you, that are important to you, and figure that out. Take some time. Take some of that valuable time, some of that sand that's falling through the hourglass every single second, and spend it doing something valuable with those that are important to you. Or just spend it doing something valuable that is important to you by itself. Came across this rather crushing list of the five most common things that we wish we would have done. People that get to the end of their lives and go, coulda, shoulda, woulda. What are they? Some of them might ring true for you. And we'll get into that a little later on in the show. But think about the things that are important to you. And think about the fact that today is your life. Live it. You know, we always quote politicians and poets and wise men from the ages in this show. But today, let's quote someone a little bit more recent. It's something unpredictable that in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life. Billy Joe Armstrong.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
I do what I want, when I want, how I want. Every day you're going and working, running that rat race at that pace and that place will leave a bad taste for anyone, everyone working day after day. So buddy, I gotta say, for you, there's gotta be a better way, yeah. And you do what they told ya, company man, bullet, a mindless little soldier. How can you live like that and maintain your composure? Before it's begun, your life's already freaking over. Yeah, I do what I want, when I want.
So confused. Capitol Hill. The Republicans are so confused. Donald Trump's really thrown a wrench in their personal works. And we talked yesterday on the show about how Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan both went out of their way to denounce the KKK. Now, the KKK has been around for an awfully long time. There's all sorts of denouncing that you could do on a regular basis of the KKK. If it's really that important to you, every single day you could denounce the KKK. Hey, that sounds like a fun rhyme. Every single day, denounce the KKK. Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, both did that. Do you remember what they said? Where is it? Paul Ryan said, let's see, where is it? This is interesting stuff. Paul Ryan said, let me make it perfectly clear. Senate Republicans condemn David Duke and the KKK and his racism. That is not the view of Republicans that have been elected to the United States Senate. I condemn his comments in the most forceful way. Or was that McConnell? No, I think that was McConnell. What Paul Ryan said, and it's essentially paraphrasing, they're essentially paraphrasing each other. Paul Ryan said, if a person wants to be the nominee of the Republican Party, there can be no evasion and no games. They must reject any group or cause that is built on bigotry. This party does not prey on people's prejudices. We appeal to their highest ideals. This is the party of Lincoln. And I think that happened a day or two after one Donald J. Trump posted this piece of audio. Trump says, as I stated at the press conference regarding David Duke, I disavow. Let's take a quick listen, because everyone is sort of giving Trump a hard time for not disavowing David Duke and the KKK. Let's take a listen to this.
Mr. Trump, how do you feel about the recent endorsement from David Duke?
I didn't even know he endorsed me. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow. Okay?
Funkhouser, can you grab that piece of audio? I have a feeling that one is going to come back to us over and over again. I disavow, okay? That's the part I want. Can we snag that moving forward?
Yeah.
All right, cool. But yeah, no, it definitely shines a light on the level of division that's happening in the Republican Party. McConnell, Paul Ryan, wanting to hitch their ride to a winning horse if Trump happens to win, which, let's be real here, it's looking increasingly likely that he will. But they also, sort of want to maintain careers. So they have to sort of like, they have to sort of go like, no, the KKK is bad. But they did it in such a way where they danced around the issue without naming Donald Trump. They said any candidate that wants to be president must not stand for bigotry and can't be associated with this and blah, 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 blah. None of them said, hey, Donald Trump has to disavow the KKK. Maybe it was because they knew he already had. I think this happened before they made their statements. Maybe it's because they knew he already had, and they didn't want to say, Donald Trump needs to disavow the KKK, when, in fact, Donald Trump had already said...
Mr. Trump, how do you feel about the recent endorsement from David Duke?
I didn't even know he endorsed me. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow. Okay?
All right, Funkhouser. We're going to talk about the most common things that we wish we had done. You don't want to get to the end of your life and gone, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, man, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I didn't do the other. What are these dreams that are going unfulfilled on a regular basis? We're going to go over them, and hopefully this is something that can light a fire under your butt, my butt, Funkhouser's butt, all of our butts to go out and take life by the short and curlies, carpe the hell out of that freaking diem and get after it. We can look at ourselves as the ghost of Christmas future if things don't work out, and maybe take a look at the trajectory of our lives, and maybe look at these missed opportunities that life chips up to us on a regular basis and we're not taking because we get too freaking caught up. What are those things? What are the regrets a lot of people have when they get to the end of their lives? What are the things that people regret not doing? We'll talk about that a little later on in the show. Right now, though, what is going on in the world of Funkhouser, and how are you?
This is My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
Pretty good. I'm going on my celebrity name game audition today.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was supposed to be last week, but man, it's hard to get out in the middle of the day, but today's the day.
So, all right, I don't think it's any big secret that we do this from different cities. I'm in San Diego, I'm in Houston, I'm kind of sort of all over the place. And you stay fixed in the locale of Hollywood, California. You're in Burbank as you produce this show, and I'm wherever the hell I am.
Sherman Oaks.
That particular day.
Same thing.
Sherman Oaks? Okay. You are in Sherman Oaks, California. But what I'm very interested in is how this sort of thing happens to you on a regular basis. How you manage to get pranked by... Have you seen the video of Funkhouser getting pranked by David Spade and Jay Leno? Have you heard that he went on... What was the other game show that you went on?
Idiot Test.
Idiot Test, and now he's auditioning for Celebrity Name Game. How do these things keep happening to Funkhouser? We'll talk about it next.
Woke up about 10 with puppies in my face, and Dad gotta join the human race. Time for a yawn and a stretch and a walk, you see.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of yous, guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah, give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. You do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. That's the way you do what we do. You do what we do. Well, that's a new one. Here I come again, coming again, taking it back to the place where I'm picking up the pen. And before I started, it's already a killer. When you know that you're good.
So, we're going to talk about your hopes, your dreams, your desires. And maybe how you're not living them. Maybe how you're not chasing them. Maybe how you're not going after them. I came across this rather shocking list. Shocking in that I identified so much with it and went, oh man, I got to start kicking myself in the butt. I got to light a fire under my own posterior to get out there and take life by the short and curlies and get after it, because you know what? We're not promised tomorrow, and I got to start freaking living and doing some of these things that I've always had in the back of my mind as being really important to me, but you just get caught up. I came across this list of the things that people regret not doing with their lives, and it really spoke to me. So what are the things that you wish you were doing with your life? We'll talk about that, and we'll go over this list, and maybe it'll light a fire under your butt the way it did mine a little later on in the show. Right now, though, let's continue to look at the events of today in our segment, My Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair, certainly not balanced. Before we get to the headlines, Funkhouser just dropped a bomb on us before we went to break earlier and said, what am I doing today? Oh, I'm auditioning for Celebrity Name Game.
Yes.
How do these things keep happening to you? Look, if you go to my blog up at Real Radio 1, realradio.fm, or if you go to my blog on any number of the radio station websites that carry us, you're going to find video of Funkhouser getting pranked by Jay Leno and David Spade on a show for True TV called, what was it again?
Fameless,
yeah. So he gets pranked by celebrities. And then you've been on the game show Idiot Test as well, and this sort of stuff keeps happening to you. You seem to fall ass backwards into really, really fun and interesting things in the world of show business. Explain how any of this happens, because you've always said, like, I'm doing this today, but I never know how it happens. Is it just because you're kind of like that Hollywood, California guy, Los Angeles native? Like, I mean, in other parts of the country, you do different stuff. If you live in Atlanta, if you live in Georgia, you're probably going to spend your time on a lake, on a boat, or something like that. That's what you do, recreationally speaking, based on the proximity of the stuff that's around you. Or if you live in Long Island, you're probably going to go fishing. Or if you live in Colorado, you're going to go hiking and biking and mountain climbing and skiing and stuff like that. Funkhouser goes on game shows because he lives in Hollywood. How does this happen?
Well, it started with me just trying to find stuff to do for free. You know, so I was looking at blogs and, free movies. They're looking for, a test audience for something. And then
didn't you get bounced from a free movie premiere? Because they're like, what do you do for a living? You're like, I work in the media. They're like, yeah, not allowed.
Yeah, I can't go on the Paramount lot anymore.
You've been banned from the Paramount lot?
Yeah.
My producer's been banned from the Paramount lot. That's a rather cool thing to add to your resume. Super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser, producer of syndicated radio all over the country, and banned from the Paramount lot. I like that.
Yeah, so I'm banned from that, from trying to see, I think I wanted to see Star Trek before it came out. That hasn't come out yet either, has it?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. There's so many of those movies.
And then I did Undateable Live, the first one they did of that show. I think it airs on NBC, where it was a sitcom, but then they started doing it live. And I went to the first one of those, and then I went to Conan a couple of times. So I got on all these lists for how would you like to do this, and how would you like to do that. So one day they were looking, there's a few casting groups that are part of those audience things, and they're just like, hey, you want to audition for this game show? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I put my name in there and pictures and a brief little bio, and then the next step is going in front of a camera and doing what you do, and then it evolves from there. So it's carpe diem, right? Isn't that how you say that?
You are getting out and carpeing the living bejesus out of the diem. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So today is the celebrity name game carpe diem day. And I didn't do any prep. I've only seen the show like twice. Who's that guy in that thing? Morgan Freeman. Ding, ding, ding. Isn't that how it goes? I don't know. But
that's
the audition.
That's
today.
Exciting stuff. What was the other thing? Where you did something that I thought was insane, and I'm very glad you didn't advance to the next round. What was that thing did where you could have wound up married to some chick?
Yeah, there was a time I was single, and I was on the same list. They were looking for people who are looking to get married, and I'm like, hey, I'm single, I'm sure on TV, cool, awesome. So there was I did a Skype interview for a show on TLC called Married by Mom and Dad, where I was interviewed by somebody, and then they played it in front of somebody's parents, and that aired back in December, and I just found it. So
yeah, they didn't even tell you.
Nope, just aired. Mm-hmm.
Do they have the audio of you auditioning to be in an arranged marriage?
They do. I'm working on a sizzle reel that I will present someday, but yeah, I think the line.
Maybe we can dig that up a little later on in the show, because would you have actually gone through with it? Would you have actually gotten married? Well, you were single and kind of actively looking. I think you were looking for love, possibly in some of the wrong places. One of them being a reality television show.
Yeah.
Well,
I was in between relationships, and I was just taking everything day by day. And the casting director assured me, she's like, listen, you're going to get married on TV, but you can have it annulled in 3 days. So we're not telling you to annul your beautiful marriage you're going to have here on TV, but you can have it annulled in 3 days.
And, like, if you did wind up getting married, was there, like, a honeymoon package? Like, when you got annulled, would you have gotten half of her assets, which would have included a speedboat and a vacation to Hawaii or something?
I think it would have been more like cameras would be following me around for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
But I mean, was there sort of like if you, like, the married couple must get something, at the very least a vacation. They usually step up with a vacation.
You would think, but I didn't make it that far. So if you're watching the Dumb Show, there's a girl named Coco. I can play the audio right now if you want. There's a girl named Coco, and the premise is I wasn't to meet Coco until, like, the wedding day, but I was going to meet Coco's parents. Me and 3 other guys were going to meet them, but the first step was they looked at all of our interviews, our Skype interviews, and then they picked from those. So what I have here is the audio of the parents and their day.
Reacting to you?
Reacting to me. Here we go. I think. Yeah. Shots of Los Angeles and beach. As they do on those shows, you know. We're going to Coco's house now. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're going inside.
All right.
Are the girls gone?
Yeah, they just left.
Okay.
Here's Coco's mom and dad.
Videos one more time?
Yeah, let's give that a shot.
When Courtney asked us to choose a husband for her, it was a combination of this is crazy, but it's also kind of an amazing opportunity. We just go in order.
Terrible parents. Terrible parents.
All right.
Here.
Okay, this one's Barry.
Funkhouser, right? Cool last name. Could be yours. 34 years old, and I'm a producer for talk radio. I found out Funkhouser means Radio Shack in German. I guess I was destined for radio. On the air, they call me Funk. At least it's not a name that you, like, can't pronounce.
He moves a lot. He looks like a really fun guy. He's funny, but I don't think I could keep up with the constant motion.
Because you move too much, you were X'd out of it. And
yes, and later she says, I think I'm done with Barry.
Now, that's a piece of audio that we have to grab.
I know. Oh, sorry.
All right, let's get back to the news. I'll post that one up on the blog so you can see Funkhouser. The reason he was moving around, I think, is because he was dodging a freaking bullet.
Yeah, well, if you know Coco's story, I salute you. And whoever she ended up marrying, well, happy birthday, right?
The bottom line is you were dodging a bullet by not marrying someone who is willing to get married on a reality television show as dictated by her parents after having watched a 30-second Skype interview. In that way, you very much dodged a bullet. Go on, Funkhouser. On with the news.
Speaking very still these days, Taco Bell in Canada is testing 3 new Crunchwrap sliders filled with Cheetos.
Taxes are lower in Canada. The average person is worth more in Canada. Yet they still somehow they've got lower taxes and managed to have universal health care. I'm not saying that their way is the correct way, but it just seems like folks in Canada to get more of everything. And this is a prime example of that. Taco Bell in Canada testing 3 new Crunchwrap sliders filled with Cheetos. This might surpass Trump becoming president as the reason why many Americans would move to Canada. I hear you've got Crunchwrap sliders filled with Cheetos. Let me be the first to say, heavens to Gretzky. Oh, Canada. Go on.
Osama bin Laden's will has finally been revealed.
Yeah, Osama bin Laden's will has been revealed. The government's sort of been leaking out little pieces, well, not leaking, releasing pieces of information about him. And if you were ever in any doubt that jihad is really just a way to assemble followers so you can make ass tons of cash, Osama bin Laden left behind $29 million. $29 million. In what form? In what currency? Is that in a bank somewhere? Is that sort of like in gold bullion buried in some cave? Like I haven't had a chance to look at it, and I don't know if they talked about the the form this currency took. But you know how you amass $29 million? Oh, you can become a fanatical religious leader. The cash stacks up pretty quick when you do that. Also in his will, I think Osama bin Laden revealed that he worried there was a tracking device in his wife's tooth. To which every husband in West Virginia replied, "Glad that's not something that could ever happen to my wife." See what I did there? Wait for it. There it is. Go on.
Melbourne.
Melbourne in Australia.
Yeah, well, I don't know exactly how to say it, right, but...
Oh, my God.
Melbourne recently staged a boat ride where...
A what?
A boat ride.
What?
Boat ride.
A bike ride.
Bike ride. That's what they said, bike ride.
Yeah, that's what you said. Melbourne staged a bike ride. Go on.
Where everyone was completely bunk nude. Everyone was nude.
Oh, nude. Hold on, let me see if I can translate. Melbourne recently staged a bike ride where everyone was completely nude. Okay, good.
That's what I said, right.
Or, as Chelsea Handler calls it, a bike ride. Go on.
Astronaut Scott Kelly returned to Earth last night after spending a year on the ISS.
Yeah. Impressive stuff. Spent a year on the International Space Station. And, this led me to do a little bit of research into what are the best parts of living on the International Space Station. And you know what I found out, Funkhouser? I found that the best things about living on the International Space Station are as followed. You're finally surrounded by people like you who can name all the NFL, who can't name all the NFL teams, but can name every character in the Star Wars cantina.
I can't do that either.
When you're bored, you can look out the window down to Earth and play a fun game called Where's Chris Christie? Space, the only place you're safe from Bill Cosby. In space, on the International Space Station, you drink your recycled pee because you have to, not just because you're a pervert. And you can brag to your friends about all the tang you're getting without it being a lie. Go on.
Despite his lecture at the Oscars about global warming, Leonardo DiCaprio took a private jet 6 times in 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Although, in Leo's defense, the jet was fueled entirely by his inexhaustible dreaminess.
Ooh.
Did you see that list that came out recently of movies that Leonardo DiCaprio turned down? I think a lot of people have said if there's one thing he's good at,
turning down
it's picking roles, and not being not taking roles that are gonna tank his career. He was supposed to be. Did you see this? Did you hear about this list?
No,
He was supposed to be Anakin Skywalker in the second Star Wars reboot in the late 90s. He was supposed to be Spider-Man, but he wasn't nerdy enough, they thought. They thought he was too sort of suave and good-looking to play the nerdy Peter Parker, and that makes sense. And he turned down one role that I was like, whoa, interesting, because this role absolutely made someone else. Which role? Who did it make? We'll get to it next. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So this list of movies came out that Leonardo DiCaprio turned down or was almost in and didn't wind up being in. Have you seen that, Funkhouser?
No.
They include some roles that went on to be pretty iconic for other people. Like when you think about Marky Mark of the Funky Bunch and how he transitioned from being that guy to being actor Mark Wahlberg, celebrated actor Mark Wahlberg. What do you think is the role that made him?
That Marky Mark? Well, wasn't he in the Funky Bunch first?
Well, he was in the Funky Bunch, but what stopped him from being part of the Funky Bunch and got him to be taken seriously as an actor? Can you think of the movie?
No.
There were lots of boobs in it. Burt Reynolds was in it. Heather Graham roller skated literally all the time, sometimes topless. And hold on, picturing something? Yeah, it was awesome.
I didn't see that movie.
You didn't?
No,
you haven't seen Boogie Nights?
No, I'm not a movie guy. I haven't seen 90% of movies.
I don't see many movies either, but I've seen Boogie Nights. Boogie Nights was an iconic role. Porn star Dirk Diggler, played by Marky Mark of the Funky Bunch, who only got that role and only became Mark Wahlberg, the serious accepted actor, after Leonardo DiCaprio turned down the role of porn star in it. You know who else he was supposed to be? And apparently this role was going to go to Will Smith as well. So I don't know who turned it down first. And it's interesting because it sort of defined the career of a guy who was already doing really well. But when Keanu Reeves looks back over his career, who do you think people will remember him as? Funkhouser.
Bill?
Right, Bill from Bill and Ted, yes. But who else?
Speed? That guy in Speed?
The
Matrix? The Matrix guy?
Yeah, Neo in The Matrix. I think that is probably who most people will look back on Keanu Reeves and go, that was the role. That was the role that defined him. That was the role that catapulted him from being like a really, 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 really big star to a humongous star. And, he was very nearly Neo in The Matrix. Leo was almost Neo, and that would have been a confusing thing to say. And I'm glad he wasn't. I think he would have been awesome at it, but here's the thing. The character of Neo has to spend a good portion of the first Matrix movie being confused, and nobody does confused like Keanu Reeves. Like, what? Oh.
Whoa.
I totally need guns, dude. Was it Dangerous Liaisons that he was in? Like, he was in some sort of, like, old-timey movie with, I want to say Winona Ryder was in it. And it was, like, this serious movie, Liaison Dangerous or something like that, Dangerous Liaisons. And like, during the fight scene where he winds up killing someone, he's like, basically, it was like, it was Bill and Ted dressed in pantalones dueling someone in old-timey France. He's like, oh, I totally killed you, dude. Oh. But yeah, there you go. Well, what else is going on in the news, Funkhouser? More news bed.
Sam Smith is being criticized after mistakenly claiming to be the first openly gay person to win an Oscar.
Yeah, Sam Smith got an Oscar and was like, hey, go me! Not only did I win this Oscar, but I am the first openly homosexual person to win an Oscar. Yay. Go Sam Smith. Team Sam. And he was pretty open about it and how he's like, yes, here I am, moving the ball down the field for equality and acceptance of homosexuality. Yes. To which the gay community went, no, you're not. And he's actually like, I don't know, who knows who won an Oscar last year? Who keeps track of that sort of stuff? If you're not like part of the Oscars, you don't know, you don't care, and they hand out so many of those things. They're like Tic Tacs and candy, and we only see a few of them on the screen. And, you know, easy mistake to make, I suppose. I mean, he was a little overly self-congratulatory with the way he did it, and nobody likes that. But I don't see it as it was that much of a difficult mistake to make, yet the world, the internet, the gay community has just been giving him the hardest time over it.
I disavow, okay?
I was trying not to walk into some double entendre, and in my mind, I'm cycling through things that I can't say on the radio. I was like, boy, he's really getting a pounding. Nope. He's really getting, people are just really piling on him. Nope. What did I wind up saying? I honestly thought it would be the okay option when I said it. Sam Smith has been given a hard time.
I disavow, okay?
Anyways, Sam Smith is being criticized like crazy for saying that, which I don't really understand. I think it was an easy mistake to make. I think it was just the fact that he was a little too quick to pat himself on the back for something, and we don't like that. But Sam Smith has since apologized, saying that what he meant to say was that he was the first openly gay Oscar winner to steal a song from Tom Petty. Go on.
I keep losing my place. Former Disney Channel star Bella Thorne?
Bella Thorne, which, by the way, if your name is Bella Thorne, you're just being predestined for a life of pornography. Like, Bella Thorne is the most porny name I have ever heard. I can't possibly believe that. Well, I guess Bella, maybe it's because, isn't there a porn chick with the last name Thorne? You know all these people, Funkhouser, from your other line of work.
Yeah.
Isn't there one?
Yeah, I think so.
What's her name?
I don't know.
Hold on, wait. You know, I know because I hung out with her. It was part of a job. It wasn't like she got to town and was like, hey, who's the local night guy on the rock station? We should hang out. I had to host a strip club gig where Nautica Thorne was the featured performer.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know her.
Oh, you don't? Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it does sound a little porny. Former Disney Channel star Bella Thorne posting racy pics on Snapchat. But here's the thing. In her defense, she's a former Disney Channel star. What else are you supposed to do other than go completely freaking off the rails?
I just met Maitland Ward last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, what does she do now? Because she was in...
I met her at the other job, so...
Oh, really? But she's not... Man. But she was... All right, so Maitland Ward is... she was in Boy Meets World, right?
Yeah.
And now she's sort of like... Not naked, not porny, but there's a lot of pictures of her butt on the internet, right?
It's safe to say that, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, I have questions about meeting Maitland Ward, and you and I will discuss that when we get back. Plus, your dreams, your hopes, your desires. The things that people most regret not doing with their lives when they get to the end of it. And we'll talk about that next, too. Thank you so much for hanging out.
The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Oh, look, there's a picture that Funkhouser sent me of when he met Maitland Ward. Maitland Ward, in case you did not know, was in Boy Meets World, Disney, ABC.
Yeah.
And what else did she do? She was, it says here that she was on The Bold and the Beautiful.
I just met her in passing. I didn't get to talk to her yet.
Right.
But yet is the key word.
Yeah, she was in ABC's Home Improvement. But most people know Maitland Ward as the character of Rachel McGuire from Boy Meets World back in 1998. That's who she was. That's what she did. That's how we know her. And she's come screaming back into the public eye recently, mostly through posting pictures of her butt on the internet. Like, it's not like she, unless I'm mistaken, it's not like she does porn. It's just that, look, we get these massive photo galleries sent to us at every single radio station that we're on every single week. And every time I turn around, there's another one of Maitland Ward's butt. Here's Maitland Ward doing a hand bra. Here's Maitland Ward doing sexy cosplay at Comic-Con in San Diego. Like, I can't figure out what she does except take pictures of her butt and put them on the internet. And God bless her, that seems to be sustaining her. But I find Maitland Ward to be kind of fascinating because I don't understand how the economics of that situation works. You're an out-of-work actress, so you start posting half-naked photos of yourself, and that becomes a career. I get that, but usually I would have thought that would have been a means to an end, like, hey, I'm going to raise my public profile so I get cast in whatever the hell it is. But it seems to be her job. And do you remember, like, you had her in on some show that you work with? Did you hear any of the interview? Do you know? Because, like, I want to know what she's selling or doing right now. Like, how does one, digital age, as much as, like, we are required to be all up in it as part of broadcast media now, the digital age, just there's ways of making money off of it and monetizing pictures of your butt on the internet. And it's fascinating to me because, A, pictures of people's butts on the internet, or pictures of Maitland Ward's butt on the internet, and I enjoy that an awful lot. But what fascinates me is how you turn that into something that can pay your electricity bill and mortgage. I'm really curious. Can you get her for this show, Funkhouser?
Yeah, I think so. I'll make some calls.
Yeah.
Got to raise the size of the doorways here because I think she'll have to duck still to get through.
Is she really tall?
She's really everything.
Really? Wow. Good for her. And good for you. All right. Let's. How much time do we have left?
Got a good 10.
Good 10 minutes.
Good dime going on here.
Good 10 minutes. All right, 2 more pieces of news, and then we will talk about... you know what? Let's not do the news. Let's talk about your hopes and dreams, Funkhouser.
But
you started the news bed? Hillary Clinton barking. I will never be able to squeegee that one out of my mind's eye. or the uncomfortable image it conjures up of what the Clintons get up to in their recreational time, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. Oh, God. Hillary barking like a dog. It will haunt my dreams, which will then become nightmares for years and years to come. Let's get some appropriate music, Funkhouser. About hopes,
what now?
Hopes and dreams? I'm challenging you. I'm challenging the super part of your super producer title. I want some appropriate music as we talk about hopes and dreams. Oh. You know what? It's so funny. I had to, it's great. I had to host a night at the Symphony a little while ago. And let me tell you, best crowd I've ever been in front of. Because they're so laid back and so respectful and so sort of easy to entertain. Like, in front of the rock crowd, the stations that I work with, when we host things like BuzzFest or Club Nights or whatever, I basically have to set myself on fire to please those people when I get on stage to do things. In front of the Symphony crowd, I was like, I say, this young man's so amusing. Oh, rather good. Oh, look, he's taking a selfie from the stage and we're going to be in it. Jolly good. It's fantastic. And it was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, one of the most easy things I've ever done. And as I got off stage hosting a night at the Symphony, I was like, I think I am ready to enter a Frasier-esque portion of my career. I believe these are my people. Hasn't happened yet, but yeah. All right, let's talk about things you wish you would have done. This list, weirdly enough, comes from GoDaddy.com. And never would have thought a GoDaddy list would make me go, I really got to get my life in gear. But they talked about the most common goals people have in life. Now, people have, but haven't accomplished or even started accomplishing them. Overall, 76% of people say they haven't made anywhere near as much progress in their current profession and their personal lives as they would like. And a lot of people feel stuck in a rut. Is that you? Look, this list lit a fire under my butt to go out and carpe that diem and get after it. And maybe it can do the same for you. Funkhouser, tell me something that you want to do, but you haven't done. You don't want to get to the end of your life. You don't want to get to the end of your life and go, man, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Never made that happen. I wish I would have made it a priority.
I think took a bike ride to another city, from one city to another. That'd probably be something I want to do. Hey now, I didn't say marathon. I said from one city to another. That's like 2-3 miles.
It depends on where you start and finish your journey. If you're, like on the border between, you know what? I can't think of two cities that connect with one another. How sad is that? Geography was never my strong suit. What about starting your own business?
I did that a couple of times.
How'd that work out for you?
Not so good.
Yeah. Well, hey, at least you've done it. You started your own business. That's like the most popular answer overall.
I disavow, okay?
I started my own business. It's this show. Like, nobody really sort of like... So I guess we're doing that. So I feel happy about that. Now, if I could just not run it into the ground, that would be fantastic. I guess I've had numerous businesses. I've only ever really been in business for myself. Ever since I started. Like this whole thing of having a job and a contract, this is only in the last 2 years. I was in a band. That's your own business. That sustained me for the first 10 years of my adult professional life, from the ages of like 17 to the age of, 8 years, I suppose. Like wound up being 24 years old when the paycheck stopped coming in from being the lead singer of a band that didn't exist anymore. So that sustained me. That's kind of like my own business, right, Funkhouser?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Yeah, but I think everybody wants to be their own boss. And I guess, I did that. I owned a store for a little bit. And then in radio used to be this thing where you have a job, you have a 401k, you have all this sort of stuff. I equate radio now with like, it's like being a hairdresser. Want to hear how?
Yeah, hairdresser.
Yeah, hairdressers kind of don't really get paid by the salons that they work in. I learned this last time I got my haircut. Once every 6 to 9 months, I get a haircut, whether I need to or not. And I was talking to the chick that cuts my hair, and she was like, yeah, we don't really get paid to be here. We get paid based on clients. What they do is they give you your chair and an opportunity to build your business through referrals and stuff like that. And I think that's what radio's sort of become. You get your chair. You get your opportunity to speak to a city or multiple cities. And really what you do with that is your own business. And that's kind of interesting because it's a sink or swim type of approach to having a career. But I think that's sort of what radio is. But now I'm middle management. I have multiple jobs. So, and we have this business going. So that's good. What else, Funkhouser?
What else about what now?
What other goals do you feel
I want to
like
be on TV, but I did that.
You've done that. Oh, look at you knocking them out of the park left, right, and center. You've had your own business. You've been on TV. Going back to school. This is a big one for a lot of people. And I would like to go to school at all. When you get a record deal at age 16 and you have the opportunity of either getting your own tour bus and a credit card or going to a university and sharing a dorm room with another pimply teenager, which you think you're going to take? You are going to take the tour bus. What teenage kid would not? So I did, and I never went to college. I got, much to the chagrin of my parents, I got a scholarship to a really good school based on how well I played the drums, and never took them up on it. And I think my parents have been cursing my name ever since. But yeah, I would love to go to school. I'd love to go just for the joy of learning. I don't think it would change my career trajectory at all. But if I get to the end of my life and I've never gone to school, coulda, shoulda, woulda, definitely. What else, Funkhouser? What about traveling for work? You've done that too. Funkhouser, you've done everything on this list. You've taken a job outside the state or country you live in. Yeah, you moved to Portland.
I'm thinking of country. That could be next. And working on my New Zealand accent, right?
I grew up in England, and look, my family is here in America now, and one of the big things that I regretted about growing up in England was not having close proximity to things like cousins and family, and being able to spend that valuable family time that I think is really important to a lot of people. I never had it. It seemed like a cool thing, and I don't want to give it up now, but I would love to live in England for a couple years and do radio there, and then come back to America.
They do it differently over there. Weird.
They do. It's very, very different. It's better is what it is. It's like not to poo-poo what folks do here in America, but the broadcasting standard, here it's perfectly acceptable to do what we do. Open the microphone and hope for the best. That's what we do. That's what everybody in talk radio in America does. If you go to the BBC and listen to some of their podcasts, I think you can check them out on iHeartRadio. The level of production and preparedness that goes into every single one of these shows is incredible. And a lot of people say that's because of socialism. They're government-funded, BBC's government-funded radio programming, and almost no one listens to it, yet they put tons of money and work and man-hours into producing this piece of audio, which is literally just art for art's sake. And is that productive use of the taxpayers' money? A lot of people would argue no. In the same way that Mitt Romney wanted to get rid of Big Bird and Sesame Street, a lot of people would say that what the BBC do, spending money and time and resources on radio programs that no one actually listens to, not a smart financial move, but it does create these pieces of audio that are so much more polished and together and awesome than a lot of what I hear on the radio in America. They do things differently, and I'd like to live over there. Traveling alone. You ever travel alone?
A couple of times, but that's no fun, right?
Oh, I disagree. I disavow. Yeah, traveling alone is good stuff.
I disavow, okay?
Mm-hmm. Traveling alone is good. So think about your life. Think about what you're doing with your life. Think about the shape of your life. Think about your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, things that you wanted to do since you were a kid, and now you're an adult. They're still important to you, but they're further away. They're in the back of your mind. They've taken a back seat to the rest of your priorities. They've taken a back seat to surviving. Life, my friend, is for living, and you work hard every single day to give the best that you can to the people that matter the most in your life, and that's awesome, and that's commendable, and you should be rewarded for it, but you never want to dismiss yourself. The cooler you are with yourself, the cooler you're going to be to the people that are around you. So those hopes, those dreams, those goals, those aspirations that have taken a back seat as you dismiss yourself to a life of surviving as opposed to thriving and going out and taking life by the aforementioned short and curlies. Maybe start thinking about those things because you don't want to get to the end of your time on this planet. You never know when that's going to be. Could be today, could be tomorrow. As we said earlier in the show, sometimes all the warning you get is look out for that bus. What bus? Splat. You want to feel like you had a life worth living. I'm not saying bail on your family, your job, your responsibilities. But there is a way. If these things are important enough to you, if you think you're going to get to the end of your life and go, I should have started my own business, I should have gone back to school, I should have taken a job outside the state or the country that I live in, I should have traveled alone. There's a way to get it done. You can do it, and you should do it for you. Why? Because you deserve it. You know what else is on this list, Funkhouser? Telling someone off, which is weird. Does that really
Don't we do that like every day?
To qualify as a life goal? I think that means to their face. It's like Festivus, the airing of grievances. I've got a lot of problems with you people, and you're about to hear about it. You know, that would feel good.